Congratulations and welcome. So I am starting the recording now. If anybody has any issues, you can go on cameras off, but if you can keep your cameras on for the most part, that would be great, just so that we can see your smiling faces and start to get to know people's faces to names. All right, and I think Nancy just stepped away, and Nancy's going to be leading our training tonight. Real fast, I'll go over the training schedule for the next couple weeks. So we are going to start lifeguard training, weather permitting, for returning staff members next week on Monday with our CPR training. When it comes to new lifeguards who have not gone through the certification class yet, do not worry about that. All of those topics are covered in your certification course. So if you are looking at those dates and you're wondering, oh, like, do I have to go to that? Do I not have to go to that? You don't have to go to anything that's for a returning lifeguard unless you took a class in Dundee. But I don't think that's the case for anybody this year. I think everybody's taking my class. If you are a new lifeguard and you have not signed up for a class, please do so immediately. That is very important that you sign up for a class. I know not everybody has, so please sign up for a class because your employment depends on it. Admissions concessions and pool attendant trainings all start, the earliest is May 22nd. We all have an all staff training in person on May 22nd with your EAP training. And then those pool attendants, admissions and concessions trainings start that following week at night. So if you have any questions about your training schedule, let me know. Please look at your training schedule tonight and look over those dates. Check that they work for you and give me notice beforehand if you have a conflict. So, all right, with that being said, I think I'm going to turn it over to Nancy, who will make the host, who will lead us in our training tonight.
Okay. While you're doing that, Stephanie, that one person is driving home safely, and we'll jump on a little late, so keep watching your to get her into the.
Yeah, I'll watch for. It's a returning staff member, so it's
Cool.
I'm okay with her being a little bit later too.
Okay, very good. Have you sent it to me or not yet?
And Nancy, we are recording now, so we're all good with that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're ready for me to share. We're getting there. Sorry, everyone. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, great. So again, welcome. Thank you for taking your time out this evening to join us for the safety training. Most of you might know already, but my name is Nancy Sprouse. I'm the HR and risk manager of the Huntley Park District. So this today is our risk management portion under safety training. So I'm responsible for the safety of both the employees and the patrons of the Park District, and also the safety of the buildings and the parks themselves. So it's, again, it's not only my job, it's every employee's job to be part of our safety program here at the Park District. And so this, we just touch on some basic safety procedures, training modules that we have. And then your supervisor, Stephanie, is going to be throughout your trainings coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And then actually ongoing throughout the season, we continue touching on safety topics. So this is just a PowerPoint. I kind of read a lot of it verbatim off the screen. Some of them I might kind of just skip and not skip, but I kind of just quickly touch and go. It may not pertain directly to your job specific down at the pool. This is a general safety training that I use for all employees. So what you're seeing, the parks department sees, the preschool teachers see, and et cetera, et cetera. So some of it may not apply directly to you. Everyone can hear me okay, correct? If not, excellent. I'm seeing some thumbs up. Also, if you have any questions or that, if you could maybe type them into the chat section. And then Stephanie, if I could ask you to possibly kind of monitor that for me, okay? So once we're done with this today, we, as in everything, we always have a sign-off sheet, you know, verifying that we've gone through these trainings. Obviously, we're not able to do that this way, but your training with Stephanie, your first in-person training, she's going to have the sheets, and we will ask everyone to grab one, sign off on it, that you attended this training this evening. Those go into your files in your personnel file. Okay, so here we go. So Huntley Park District Safety Training. And there are three videos, little short videos that are embedded in this training. Statement of admissions is going to be our first video that come up after this screen. So Huntley Park District practices good risk management techniques to reduce the risk of accidents, unforeseen accidents. However, accidents can and do happen. After an accident, many questions may be asked of the Park District staff. There we go. Can you hear it, Steph? No. Okay, hold on a moment.
Nancy, is your audio on?
I'm going, hold on.
Sorry, guys, I promise we practiced today.
We did actually, and it's not Stephanie, it's me. I apologize. These are not my forte, believe me.
Shout out to Sophia Romano, our pool manager, who helped us figure this out.
Goodness gracious, always this happens. I might have to stop the share. Is that what we did last time, Steph? I think
you did, yeah.
Okay, so let's try this again. Can you try sharing with me one more time? I apologize, everyone. Okay, share screen. There it is, that darn share sound. I did not do it. Okay. Okay. There we go. Let's see what happens. This little girl, right? So here we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear stuff.
It is an unfortunate fact that even with the best safety and risk management programs in place, on occasion a patron may be injured. As an employee of the organization, in the aftermath of an accident or incident, you may be approached by someone such as a parent, an attorney, or the media and asked to provide information about the incident or comment about the event.
Excuse me, I see by your shirt that you work for the district. My daughter fell off that broken swing earlier today and broke her arm. She went to the doctor and I have some bills. Since it was the district's fault, I'm assuming you will be paying the bill?
I'm sorry, but I'm probably not the best person to answer your questions. You will need to contact Sue Smith of the agency. She will be better able to assist with your questions. Sue can be reached at 555-1212.
Excuse me, can't you tell me how long the swing set has been broken?
Again, I'm sorry, but I think Sue Smith will be better able to assist you with your questions. Sue can be reached at 555-1212. It is important that you next contact your supervisor, agency risk manager, and/or the designated media spokesperson regarding what you have learned about the incident, and that they will likely be contacted by a member of the public. It is important that you share incident specifics and information with your supervisor, the police, and/or an authorized agency representative. Do not admit guilt or discuss an incident. Nothing should be stated off the record. There is no such thing. If asked about liability or guilt, immediately inform a supervisor. It is likely a claim will be filed against the agency. Remember that anything documented on an accident form may become evidence if a lawsuit is filed. Do not offer medical coverage or medical payment. It is all right to show compassion, concern, and a desire to help. Forward all press inquiries to the designated agency spokesperson. While situations of this type can be awkward and sometimes a difficult experience, it is critical that you handle questions appropriately and think before you speak. There are legal and public relation implications for everything that you say. Keep in mind that your organization is not attempting to hide or cover up the incident, but wants to first gather all the facts surrounding the incident and determine the proper response to accurately communicate the findings.
Okay, so statement of admissions, who will pay for the damage, who will pay for the medical treatment, who is at fault, and could the Park District have done anything to prevent the accident? Statement of admissions, the Huntley Park District policy that states in the event of an accident or injury, Park District employees should never admit guilt or negligence. Never talk to an outside source. Don't speculate on why something might have happened. Don't comment on an accident or injury. Don't respond to questions from patrons or other employees. Do not discuss accidents or incidents at home or with friends, and don't say something the Park District may have to defend, such as, wow, you're the third person to trip over that today. So what we ask is that you speak to your supervisor. They will get the facts of what occurred, and then if they need to move it up the chain of command, they would do it at that time. We also ask that you be very careful if you are on social media. We can't tell you what you can and can't put on your social media, it's yours. However, do be very careful. There have been cases coming up through other park districts that an employee did post something on their social media about an accident or incident, and it did go to court, and then the park district had to represent the employee and defend what was put onto that social media, and the employee themselves had to get a lawyer and defend themselves as well. So just be very careful if it has anything to do with an accident or incident, okay? I just want to take one moment here, and I apologize, I should have started this in the beginning. We do have some returning staff, so welcome. And for the new staff that are on here, we've just gone through our new hire paperwork, so I just discussed this with them, but I do want to take a moment for our returning staff. Right now, we are still in our pandemic, and so we are doing a few things here at the Park District. And the first thing we want to go over is that we are asking our employees to do a self-health assessment before they come into work. So you're not having to document anything, turn anything in, but you're going to just assess yourself before you come into work. Make sure you're not showing any of the signs or symptoms of COVID, possibility of COVID, such as fever, cough, shortness of breath, maybe a loss of smell or taste. You might have chills. Any of those type of symptoms, if any family member that might have those symptoms, or if you know you've been in close contact with someone who just tested positive for COVID-19, we're going to ask you to stop getting ready to come into work for your shift and to contact your supervisor, Stephanie. She'll advise you later on how she's going to have communication with you, whether that's through Teams or her cell phone, I'm not quite sure. But so you're going to advise her what your symptoms are. She will be completing a form. We're going to gather a couple other forms of information from that, and most likely she's going to be advising you to stay home, to go to your doctor or to immediate care, and then to discuss having a COVID test with them. We want to eliminate any possibility that it would be COVID. From that test, we ask that you would share the result. We will keep everything as confidential as possible, keeping employees' names out of any conversations, and then we will then proceed from there, whether it's a yes or a positive or negative. So again, we are asking for self-health assessments prior to coming into work. If you have a fever of 100.4, that is a definite no, you cannot come into work, and we do advise you to go seek medical attention. If you're answering no to any of those questions, then what we ask is that right now, and again, we're just got some new CDC guidelines coming out just hot off the press today. So we'll be reviewing all those and how that affects all our departments, but for you specifically, the pool department. But right now, I'm just going to state our standard is wearing that mask. Currently, if the mask is on, please have it over your nose and your mouth. And then continue, even if these masks are eliminated when you're outside, which is our hope, is what's coming out with CDC today. But continue sanitizing your hands, or washing your hands, using hand sanitizer, and then cleaning different things that you may be touching as well. Let's just stay on top of that. Those are easy things that we can do. We should be doing even without a pandemic to keep everything safe. Okay, so that is that. So next one is our right to know. As an employee, you have the right to know the hazards and identities of chemicals you're exposed to while working. You need to know what protective measures are available to prevent adverse effect from these hazards. So the Park District has an SDS sheet. SDS is safety data sheet for every chemical we use. These sheets are kept in a book for your easy access. Know the location of the SDS book in your area. So there will be a book down in the manager's office, down at the pool. If for some reason you might be up here, maybe you're making copies or something, or picking up a package that might have been delivered and your supervisor sends you up here, and something would occur, we have SDS book right outside of that registration office. So would be the next closest for you. What's in this is the SDS sheet. It has valuable information regarding the chemical, such as the makeup, the hazards, firefighting measures, storage, accidental release. What we feel is the most important part, though, is that first aid procedure. So what do you do if you get the chemical on your skin, if you ingest the chemical, or if the chemical gets in your eye? And if you're to seek medical attention due to chemical exposure, you can take a copy of that SDS sheet to the treating facility. It will assist your medical team, your doctor, in prescribing or knowing what's occurred to you and then knowing what to prescribe to help you. Don't bring any chemicals in from home. We don't have an SDS sheet on them. Keep down at the pool, like if we have to transfer over any, and this might be management team that's on sharing with us today, we want to keep chemicals in original containers. And if it is transferred, we make sure we label correctly and then read your labels before using a chemical or cleaning product. Communicable disease, our next topic. It's also called an infectious disease. It's a disease that can be transmitted to a human being. How does that happen? Pathogen or germ must be present. There must be a sufficient quantity of the pathogen to cause the disease. You must be susceptible to the pathogen, and the pathogen must pass through an entry site by contact. How's that happen? Well, direct contact is touching of bodily fluids. Indirect contact is touching objects that have touched the fluid of an infected person. The airborne is breathing in droplets when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Does that kind of sound like COVID-19 right there? And then vector-borne contact is a bite from an animal or insect. Hold on one second, we have someone coming in. There we go. How do you protect yourself? So at home we go and we get all these different shots. There is actually a vaccine for COVID-19. Anyone that is eligible, check into that and see if that is something you would be interested in getting. But here we use protective equipment. So again, right now, a protective equipment for everyone is using those masks. But then for general other communicable diseases, and we have protective equipment such as disposable gloves, mouth guards, or mouth shields. Good personal hygiene. Wash those hands thoroughly using soap and hot water after exposure, providing first aid care, and then equipment cleaning. So thoroughly cleaning equipment with a disinfectant. So we're already doing this because of COVID, but it's something we do continually even prior to COVID, trying to make sure that we are cleaning everything and being safe. Awareness, be aware of repeated accidents or incidents that expose you to bloodborne pathogen and report these to your supervisor. So if, for instance, there is something down at the pool that would not be safe, maybe something by one of those umbrellas and it's sharp and it's causing you had to put it down, it causes you to cut yourself and you're bleeding from it. And then the next person that in 2 days, it happens to them. We want to, what's going on there? We want to either fix that umbrella, whatever's going on, or replace it, okay? Always wear gloves when performing first aid. And again, these are things Stephanie will be going over specific when she's reviewing all these topics in detail for your department. But you will hear this many times, wearing those gloves when performing first aid. Blood spills, all blood spills should be cleaned up thoroughly with a disinfectant. The towels used to clean up a small blood spill can go into a normal household waste, so in a regular garbage can. Use good judgment though. I think we have all tall garbage cans out at the pool, so little kids can't go digging around. You're protected, you have your gloves on, but some little child might go in there and they don't, and they potentially are exposed to that blood then. Large blood spills, anything that we are using, maybe someone's thrown in a towel or they've given their, a t-shirt because someone has fallen and, bleeding profusely out of their head or somewhere. Those we throw into a plastic bag and then goes into a biohazard container that we have located down at the pool as well. Let's see, first aid. You may need to provide first aid to a patron or fellow employee. Again, Stephanie will go into detail about first aid that is administered down at the pool. Familiarize yourself with the location of the first aid kits in your work area. We have a kit in the or station in the manager's office. We have one in the concession area. And then our first aid bag is a little larger bag down there that would go out on the deck when needed. Before performing any first aid, yes, here we go again. You're wearing those gloves, please. If in doubt about the extent of an injury, we're going to be calling 911. We do not diagnose injuries. The injury is serious. If it's a patron that's a minor, then we are calling the parent or guardian if they didn't stay with the child. And then always remember to complete an accident report. Again, Stephanie will review that. I believe managers complete the majority of the accident reports, getting the information from you, the employees. Some of the first aid heavy bleeding is cover the bleeding area with gauze and apply pressure. Never remove the old gauze. You could cause the bleeding to start up again. If needed, apply additional gauze. So you're just layering that gauze on the area. Whenever possible, raise the affected area above the heart. And if the bleeding cannot be stopped, seek medical attention. Nosebleeds, have the person sit upright. It reduces that blood pressure in the veins. Pinch the nose, continue that for 5 to 10 minutes. up here on the bridge, not down here where they can't breathe, and to prevent rebleeding after bleeding has stopped. Just make sure you advise them not to be picking or blowing their nose and not to be bending down for a couple of hours. Heat exhaustion. Signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion often begin suddenly, sometimes after excessive exercise. Signs and symptoms resemble those of shock, and they could be feeling faint, nausea, heavy sweating, ashen appearance, cool, moist skin, or low-grade fever. First aid for heat exhaustion is get that person out of the sun into a shadier air-conditioned location. The only air-conditioned location in our pool is the concession, or no, nope, sorry, scratch that. There is no air conditioning down there. So there was supposed to have been, yeah,
but some nice cool areas include the manager's office where we're out of the sun, the guard room if it is a staff member where we're out of the sun. We want to get into the shade when we're at the pool. And then we have our own procedures of cooling people down too, which for the most part, our lifeguards are going to be the ones doing first aid because they practice first aid every week. So lifeguards pay attention.
Perfect. Yeah, we were supposed to have gotten air conditioning in that concession, but that got pulled out of the budget, I guess. So, okay. So heat stroke is potentially life-threatening. The body normal mechanisms for dealing with that heat stress, such as sweating and temperature control, are lost. So typically you have that elevated body temperature can get as great as 104 degrees with changes in the mental status ranging from personality changes to confusion and coma. So skin can be hot and dry. Sometimes though, if they're in the fitness center, it could be moist just because they've been working out. So other signs could be rapid heartbeat, rapid shallow breathing, cessation of the sweating, irritability, confusion, or unconsciousness, and then fainting, which is the first sign in older adults. So what do? We're going to call 911. Possible move them out of that sun into that shady area, cooler area. And then again, Stephanie will review how to cool that person down quickly. Splinters, foreign objects. We don't attempt to remove slivers of wood or any glass or anything that may have gotten into a person's skin. What we do is if it's a child, we're going to contact the parent, let them know. And if it's an adult, they need to remove their own. Reason being, it sounds like we're kind of being mean or that, but it isn't. But a few years ago, we tried to assist a camp patron, and they actually went in further. So when the parent came, they couldn't get it. They took them to immediate care. It was infected. It got kind of nasty. And so we just decided that we're not going to try to remove splinters. Mild, causing little more than annoying itching or stinging sensation, and mild swelling that disappears within a day or so. A delayed reaction may cause the fever, hives, painful joints, swollen glands. The victim might experience both the immediate and the delayed reactions from the same insect bite or sting. And only a few people have that severe allergic reaction to being stung. So signs and symptoms could include facial swelling, difficulty breathing, and shock. Ice packs when using a chemical. Oh, go ahead, Steph.
I was going to say real fast, if you have a severe allergy and you have an EpiPen, please talk to myself or one of your managers on a shift about where we can store your EpiPen during your shift. Make sure that you are letting us know about that pertinent medical information when it comes to things, because sometimes bees do come about in the pool, and we have had staff members before. We haven't had to use an EpiPen on them.
Not down on them.
Keep their EpiPen in a specific place while they work, so that way we can respond and help them if there is an emergency.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, so you really probably don't want to keep that EpiPen out in the car, because if something happens, we want to have easier access to it, because then, okay, where's your car keys? Where'd you park today? That delays everything. So yeah, if you need to keep an EpiPen available, speak to a manager and they'll find a safe place for that, okay?
Same goes for inhalers or anything like that. We have had a staff member where they needed an inhaler, and I'm sending a different person out to their car to go dig through their car to go get it for them. So just know that your safety is also something that we need to consider in all of these things.
Definitely. Ice packs, when using a chemical ice pack, always place it in a Ziploc bag or wrap it in paper towels. This creates a barrier between the ice pack and the victim's skin. So activating that ice pack, either snap it down by your waist or otherwise by stepping on it. I just throw it on the ground and quick give it a stamp and it activates it. Ziploc bags, they should all be already in the Ziploc bags. And why we do this with those chemical ice pack is a few years ago, it actually was down at the pool. There was, I don't know if it was prior to Steph being there, but there was a staffer who was assisting a patron who had fallen on the deck. They skinned their knee or something minor. And when the person tried to activate, it was up here by her face a little bit more. She cut it. Well, that plastic ripped and the chemical sprayed into her eye. So now we were flushing her eye. We actually did take that employee to immediate care to get it flushed out and get some medicine for it because it was burning her eye. And then the child was fine with the low skin knee. But anyway, that's why we now put them into Ziploc bags. Please inform your supervisor if any supplies are looking low or that if you need something, and they will make sure it's replenished. We always just want to be prepared for that next instance. Accident reporting, whenever you perform first aid, you must complete an accident report. Again, Stephanie will review with you where they are down in the manager's office, who is going to be reporting them, and then they will be given back to supervisors to keep that rolling back up to me so we can get it off to our insurance company if need be. We always ask for just complete details and facts of what occurred. And if the event of a serious injury, get the name and phone numbers of witnesses. If any of you would happen to get injured on the job, there's a different report that we do complete, but we do complete it for any injuries that may occur. Let's see, if you are injured on the job, notify your supervisor. And if it's something that needs medical attention, we will assist you in getting that attention, whether it's something you're able to drive yourself, or if we need to transport you or get one of your family members involved so they could come get you, we will certainly do any or all of that, okay? Let's see, and again, our employee injuries, that would go through a different type of insurance. It's not going to go through your own medical insurance. We do have on file at both the hospital here and the Advocate Immediate Care that's up on Randall Road. We have our insurance on file there. So if we do send an employee, then it's going to go under the Huntley Park District. So it's already all set up with those agencies there. For any emergency operations, we just ask that you remain calm, call 911 when necessary, assist any victim, and communicate with your supervisor. Down at the pool, you always will have a manager on staff or on duty, whether it's our Stephanie, our aquatic supervisor, for the entire operation, or otherwise if she is one of her assistant managers down there. So you will always have a manager with you. Types of emergencies. So we have all different dangerous weather, such as tornado or lightning, fire, so the use of fire extinguishers or evacuation of our buildings, serious patron injury, serious employee injury, unruly participant, fights, or power outages. So I just cover a couple of these. Tornado, if it's spotted, you're going to hear the sirens go off in Huntley. If you're outside, obviously majority of you will be out on the pool deck area. You're going to be taking cover inside the pool house itself until the all clear goes off, okay? Lightning, we do have a lightning warning system. You will hear that. It's right outside in the parking lot over at Stingray Bay. If the lightning detects the activity in the area, you're going to hear a 15-second siren, and then the strobe light will be activated as well. And then once it's activated, again, the deck is cleared and everyone's going to take cover in the building until we get it all clear. All clear is 3 short blasts. Now, we don't rely just on lightning. So if you do, anyone that's on duty, or even if you might be on break, and if anyone visually sees that lightning or hears the thunder, spread the word. Hey, Stephanie or whoever else is on duty that day, did you just see that over in the west or wherever it might be? Sometimes the lightning detection system gets some dust particles, and it kind of blocks the sensors a little bit. So we've seen the storm coming where it's right on us, and yet we don't hear a siren out there. We're okay, what's going on? So, again, use common sense. If you're seeing the lightning or hearing that thunder, take precautions. Fire, so if we would need to use a fire extinguisher, we ask that you remember the word pass. P for pull the pin, A for aim at the base of the fire, stand back about 8 feet from the fire. The first S is to squeeze the handle, and the second is a sweeping motion at the base of the fire. So you pull that pin out and then work yourself backwards away from the fire. And if you're inside the building, just make sure you're not working, you work towards the door, don't work towards the where it blocks you into the room, which we basically in the manager's room, I guess, because you have access out of the other 2 areas. Know where those fire extinguishers are located in your work area. Stephanie, I would think, was probably going to point those out when you're down there during the training. Never put yourself in danger by using a fire extinguisher. They only last about 60 seconds. Make sure your supervisor knows if you do discharge one, we do have to report any use of a fire extinguisher, no matter why we discharged it. Fire evacuation, again, very specific to our different buildings. Stephanie and her staff will review with you how you are evacuating from the pool. Another little video about Core 6.
Deer Park District,
Forest Preserve District,
Special Recreation Association, Conservation District,
employee. We the people close to you that depend on you.
that are important in your life.
Your mom,
your kids,
your sister,
The guy that works on your car.
your
neighbors,
your coworker, the guys I golf with,
your spouse or partner,
Grandpa.
those that are special to you,
have an important message.
that can impact your safety and health.
As well as our life with you.
The Core 6 is a basic safety concept for you to think about during any work task or project at home. Let's take a few minutes to discuss what each of the Core 6 really mean in a practical setting. Number 1, equipment. Do you have the proper equipment to safely perform the job task? Can additional equipment make the job safer and more productive? Number 2, 30-second site safety walkthrough. Do you conduct a 30-second site safety walkthrough prior to starting a job site? Do you take action to minimize potential hazards observed during the 30-second site safety walkthrough? Number 3, personal protective equipment, PPE. Do you have all the proper personal protective equipment to safely perform the job? Are you wearing the PPE while performing the job task? Number 4, 3 points of contact. Are you consistently using 3 points of contact while climbing ladders and entering or exiting vehicles or equipment? Number 5, stretching. Do you realize the positive effect that stretching can have on your safety and health? Do you warm up with light stretching before starting a job task at work or home? Do you reset your muscles with a stretch after performing a job task? And finally, number 6, best practice lifting. Are you familiar with the 3 basic concepts of safe lifting, including move straight up and down, keep your elbows close to your body, and move your feet when you step? Using the concepts of the Core 6 might involve breaking some old habits and starting new ones. This can be awkward and take some time to get used to, but it definitely can pay off in the long run. Remember to think about the concepts of the Core 6 at work and home. The Core 6, do it for you. Do it for them. The Core 6.
Okay, so the Core 6, it's an initiative that our insurance company developed. They were receiving all these reports from all the different agencies. Our insurance is covered through PDERMA, and it's a consortium of about 155, 160 park districts, special recreation, and conservation districts. So we all pool our money together for all different types of insurance, from health insurance to liability insurance to vehicle insurance, any type of insurance. So they get these reports on these accidents that might be occurring on these agencies, and they developed and they thought, well, wait a minute, we can maybe eliminate some of these accidents occurring if we do some of these things. So they came up with the Core 6. So equipment, 30-second safety walkthrough, personal protective equipment, 3 points of contact, stretching, and best practice lifting. So equipment, if you need to move any boxes or that, if they're heavy, we're using, I call it a dolly, the little push thing there. Our trucks all have those Tommy lift gates on them. 30-second safety walkthrough. This one is my favorite, I always say, because I'm a lazy son of a gun. And this one is 30 seconds. I can do anything for 30 seconds, okay? So what are you going to do? You're just going to check out your area. I know our facility staff, they walk the pool deck in the morning as they're prepping, the pool early in the morning. But when you're walking to your chairs, you're walking to your concession area, you're sitting down in your admissions area, or you're going into the manager's office, see if there's any safety problems on the floor. Are there any cords out? Is there water that has spilled? Water at a pool? Yeah, hello. But is there anything that might be a safety issue? Any broken glass? We should never have glass over there. But if you do see any and if it's broken, we want to get some attention to that, okay? So not saying you have to clean it up. If potentially your supervisor might ask you to, but we might otherwise call a, a maintenance staff or facility staff member. But please just at least have the conversation with the supervisor so we know if we do have to bring some attention to an area over there. Personal protective equipment. This varies from department to department. As you can see, kind of, the sun and the sunblock and sunglasses, that's for you, the pool staff, and that other area, that's for our parks department. So varies. Your supervisor will review the different personal protective equipment, but we just know that it's very important, and we want to make sure that you are utilizing the personal protective equipment. Yes, suntan lotion is considered personal protective equipment. Sunglasses are as well. Just know what is required and recommended for you to protect yourself. That's the main thing, okay? Make sure you're caring for your personal protective equipment correctly, that's not worn out or that it's damaged in any way, that if it's fitting you properly. The gloves that you wear, that's personal protective equipment. We have all different sizes. So if you have petite hands, or maybe the other realm of it, you have large hands, we can get gloves that will fit you. So just make sure to speak to your supervisor. Oh,
Bederma is proud to provide you with another Be Safe
one.
solution. Preventing slip, trip, and fall injuries by maintaining 3 points of contact. Entering and exiting vehicles, trucks, tractors, buses, vans, trailers, or other pieces of construction equipment is not as easy as it sounds. Each year, numerous Bederma member employees are injured while entering, exiting, and mounting and dismounting vehicles and equipment. Many things can contribute to these slips, trips, and falls. Being in a hurry, talking or communicating with coworkers, wet or slippery surfaces, talking on a cell phone, carrying equipment or another object, jumping, or failing to maintain a 3-point of contact. Simply stated, 3 points of contact is when the employee maintains contact with 1 hand and 2 feet, or 2 hands and 1 foot at all times when mounting, dismounting their vehicle, machinery, or equipment in order to maintain and form a stabilizing triangle of contact. The 3-point contact system allows you to have maximum stability and support, thereby reducing the likelihood of slipping and falling. To help encourage the 3-point of contact system, Bederma has created a sticker decal to remind employees to maintain 3 points of contact every time they enter, exit, mount, or dismount a vehicle or equipment. Simply attach the 3-point contact decal so that every time you enter, exit, mount, or dismount a vehicle or equipment, you are reminded to maintain a 3-point contact.
Okay. So lifeguards, that you saw some examples there. Again, Stephanie will review that, right, Steph?
I sure will. And I say 3 points of contact almost on a daily basis because I am klutzy and I fall all the time. So I'm scared of all of you falling.
Yeah.
So that is something also that if you are a lifeguard, when you are tested and audited, that's something that they look for.
Yep, it sure is. Okay. Stretching, I don't think you guys do that. Our parks department, they all come in at 6 o'clock. So they all punch in or sign in, and then they do a 10-minute stretching. They throw it up on the, they have a TV down there, they throw it up there, they all spread out, and then they do a stretching so that they're loosening up a little bit before they head out on the, into the parks and, to start their jobs. Lifting doesn't have to be a dangerous proposition when it's done correctly, and we need to protect our back. Back injuries are the #1 injury for Park District employees, so we just want to make sure we're very aware of that and that we are doing what is necessary to prevent injuries. So we want to make sure we're using the right muscles. We want to use the leg and buttock muscle. So you're utilizing the strongest, which is your leg and buttock muscles. So always bend your knees when lifting. So you have keep your trunk vertical when bending down and lifting something. A horizontal trunk can put pressure on the lower back, amounting to hundreds of extra pounds. And then make sure you're keeping that object close to you. So keep your elbows in toward you and keep that object close. Let's see, lift the object with a straight back using your leg and buttock muscles. I said that already. What's the best way to pick up an object? Slow and smooth, hurried, jerky movements can strain the muscles in your back. Keep your body facing the object. And then keep that load close to your body, as we said before. How do you avoid the back injuries? Well, yes, definitely do it. No, I'm kidding. You don't do that. So what you do is you pace yourself. If you need,
not this year. Not this year.
Not at all. But, if there would be something that you are doing, maybe you're helping set up down there in the next few weeks and we're, moving around boxes and computers and all kinds of different things, take breaks between what you're lifting. Don't overdo it. If it's too heavy, stop, get some help. Make sure you have enough room, you're not stepping over items, and make sure you're trying to walk on even surfaces, okay? And again, down there, it's difficult, slippery, because you're in a pool environment. There is a lot of water down there, so just be mindful of that, okay? Okay, harassment. Harassment is the unwelcome verbal or physical conduct based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, or sexual orientation when the conduct is sufficiently severe or pervasive to create a hostile work environment, or a supervisor's harassing conduct results in a tangible change in an employee's employment status or benefits. Sexual harassment is a form of harassment that involves unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature when submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of a person's job, pay, or career. Submission to or rejection of such conduct is used as a basis for a career or employment decision, or such conduct has the purpose or effect of interfering with an individual's work performance or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Forms of harassment could also be verbal. Referring to someone's race, religion, sex, disability, age in negative, vulgar, or derogatory terms, put down jokes or stories, and making comments that include statements about inappropriate stereotypical ideas, attributes, or characteristics of others. Nonverbal harassment could be written or graphically derogatory material about protected characteristics, unwelcome, offensive, or hostile facial expressions or body gestures, having or sending inappropriate screensavers, wallpaper, or email, sexually oriented graphics, pictures, or calendars. Physical harassment could be threatening or intimidating actions, pushing, shoving, or purposely bumping into a person, unwelcome touching, caressing, or fondling. If an individual is doing or saying something that makes you uncomfortable, you should tell the offender whenever possible. Most people who say or do something offensive will stop that behavior when made aware that it is considered offensive. If you're uncomfortable talking to the offender, report this behavior to your supervisor. Who can harass? Anyone, fellow employees, patrons, outside vendors or contractors, visitors to the facility. Simple teasing is not harassment, and an offhanded comment is not harassment. So use good judgment, common sense in the workplace. You'll find in your handbook the Huntley Park District harassment policy. If you feel that you're the victim of harassment, you should ask your supervisor for a harassment grievance form, and we, the Huntley Park District, will investigate all claims of harassment. So we do take this very seriously, and I mentioned this, please communicate it. We can't help you if we're not made aware of what is going on our properties. So please communicate it with Stephanie or a team manager over there. Otherwise, come find me or some management team member in this building, and we will certainly help you out, okay? And your handbook, Stephanie, you are handing that handbook or sending it via email, correct? Okay.
Yes, that orientation is tomorrow, just because I do not want to keep you all on Zoom for longer than you need to, especially those who are going to school over Zoom right now. I wanted to kind of space it out a little bit. So I have it literally up on my computer, and it's going to get sent out to everyone tomorrow.
It's not that she didn't want to keep you. She just didn't want to follow me because this is so riveting that she knew she'd never be able to match up to it, okay? I've been nominated for Academy Award for this, you guys. It's amazing how it's just out there. So
you're a hard act to follow, Nancy.
Yeah, right. Okay, lockout tagout. It refers to specific practices and procedures to safeguard employees from the unexpected startup of machinery or equipment or the release of hazardous energy during service or maintenance activities. So OSHA has determined the lockout is a more reliable means of de-energizing equipment. Lockout should always be the preferred method used by employees. And in most cases, lockout devices provide a more secure and effective means of preventing the unexpected release of hazardous energy or startup of machines and equipment. So authorized employees are those who are trained to perform lockout procedures and are required to follow all aspects of the Huntley Park District written program. We are all affected employees. We are those who work in the area of the servicing and must not attempt to start or work with the machine or equipment locked for maintenance. It could be something as simple as one of our facility workers, they may be working on an electrical outlet for some reason. Maybe it's tripping or something all the time. So they're going to lock that out. They're going to make sure that the power is turned off to that specific area. someone walks by, oh, this doesn't work, I'm going to go check the breaker, and they flick it on. No, we're not doing any of that. You stay away. If it's got literally a tag that says locked out, tag out, stay away from it, okay? Confined space, it's any of these type of things, your chamber, tank, vat, silo, pit, trench, pipe, sewer, flue, well, or any similar place in which by virtue of its enclosed nature, there arises a risk. Well, what are those risks? Lack of oxygen, fire explosives, liquids or solids could fill up the space, poisonous gas, fumes, vapors, high dust concentration, engulfment. Due to the complexity of working within a confined space, the Huntley Park District has decided to contract out all confined space, so never enter a confined space. For example, we have pumps that are below ground over at the pool, one way in, that same way out. You got to go down this little, shimmy down this little ladder and stuff. So again, we contract out all that confined space. Driving standards. I don't believe, I don't know for sure if maybe managers might be driving, but majority of you are not driving for the park district, meaning you are not using one of our vehicles, or you're not maybe doing an errand, going to pick up something, yourself for the park district. So all we ask is that just be careful. You as an employee, we worry about you if you are driving back and forth to work. So just, common sense, everyone, make sure you're wearing your seatbelts, stay off those phones and texting, all that kind of junk, put it aside. It will wait until you get to your destination before you check out those messages or whatever that might be there, okay? Child abuse reporting. We are all mandated child abuse reporters. If you suspect child abuse and neglect, please report it to your supervisor, who will help you to report it to the proper authorities. Reporting of hazardous conditions. So we're all to be aware and alert for looking for any safety hazards that could exist, could affect the general public or employees of the district. Employees are also responsible for reporting any unsafe equipment or condition to their immediate supervisor immediately upon discovery. Employees should make certain they do not create safety hazards as well. And then remember, we must all work together to achieve a safe and healthy working environment. It could be something as simple as you park your vehicle, you step out and you see a whole bunch of broken glass down there. Okay, maybe someone, the night before was over there and they smashed some bottles for whatever silly reason they wanted to do that. Okay, that's a hazard. But if you come in, don't assume that any, like Stephanie or myself, that we saw that. We park in different areas, or maybe I walked by there, but it wasn't there prior. So we'd rather hear from 3 or 4 employees, hey, do you know there's glass over in the parking lot where I park and my car is the blue car or whatever. And we'll send someone over to clean it up. Again, we most likely are not sending you. Again, there might be 1 or 2 employees that we might send depending on your position, but we would get someone else, out there. We just want to make sure that it's safe. And that's just one little example of that, okay? Patron behavior management. This you will go over in detail with Stephanie and her staff. But discipline, we work on a positive approach here at the Park District. Staff will periodically review rules with those participants during the program session. If inappropriate behavior occurs, a prompt resolution will be sought specific to each individual's situation, and the Park District reserves the right to dismiss a participant whose behavior endangers his or her safety or the safety of others. So there's a reason why you're given whistles, you lifeguards there. There's a reason why we enable all of our staff members that are on the deck in the concession area or in the admissions to make sure the patrons are using the appropriate behavior at all times at the pool and even outside if they're in the parking areas. This is our basic code for behavior management. Show respect to all participants, staff, and volunteers. Participants should follow program rules and take direction from the staff. They need to refrain from using foul or abusive language. They need to refrain from threatening or causing bodily harm to themselves, other participants, or staff. They need to show respect for equipment, supplies, and facilities, and not possess any weapons. Pretty basic, but guess what? We'll have lots of issues that we have to address, and that's okay. That's what we're here for. So that is it for your safety training in a nutshell. I appreciate everyone being on board here tonight. Do we have any questions that we want to, address? Steph, I'm going to shoot this off to you. Stop sharing my screen. And then any questions at all?
Does anybody have any questions about what we just went over? I mean, feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question or put it in the chat.
And a lot will be followed up with your individual trainings coming up here now and all these next meetings when you're, meeting up with Stephanie and the other management team down there.
Yeah. Just so all of you know, repetition is key. Sometime, I mean, I've heard this training by Nancy, over 10 times now. This is my 11th time
Well,
participating.
I've only done it, 4 times. Well, yeah, plus you've done
But prior to you through
years.
years and years, we all repeat it every year, but every year I pick up on something different. Repetition is key for us, and ongoing training is key. And we do have some familiar faces in the crowd. However, we are 2 years off right now. So without having 2020, I think that we all need to ask as many questions as we possibly can this year, and really feel confident there is no such thing as a stupid question. And like Nancy said, you'd rather have like 5 people ask about something than no one.
Yeah.
Today, as an example, I had the time wrong on the Zoom link. However, I sent everybody the correct time. So the more people that come and point those things out, the more we can rectify it early on. So
Exactly. We all make mistakes. All of us do. So we just need to work as a team. That's what we all do. We boost each other up and we fill in the gaps when someone might let something fall through the cracks, so that someone else will say, hey, wait a minute, did you do this? Ooh, I forgot. So yeah, just speak up. It never hurts. Also shows some, some drive and some, showing us your interest in your job, and, that all just builds. You just keep building off of that. So that's all positive. So certainly do that. Again, safety is, I'm the first to tell you, it's kind of boring. Okay. Everyone's sleeping. I see some eyes, it is, I get it, but safety is so important. And I don't say that just because it's job security. That's my job. I don't say it because of that. I say it because we assist thousands of people. Again, full capacity is just under 1,000. So if we're able to open up to full capacity and it's a hot day, you're going to have 1,000 people there. You'll have people waiting outside, and then the parks are packed, and then we have all the baseball fields are packed. So thousands of people go on our properties and use all of our programming. So important that every one of you participate, be part of it. If you have a safety suggestion, hey, it's not much, but we do have a $25 safety suggestion little kitty thing. So just write it down, tell Stephanie even, she'll just shoot it in the email to me. And we bring it before a safety committee, and if we implement it, whatever it could be something very simple. Maybe you're utilizing something you've seen at your schools and you're like, oh, that kind of made sense. A simple thing we have another building over on the other side of Dikey. And a couple of years ago, someone's like, we have staff when it's snowing, not your pool staff, but when it's snowing, we have staff that goes and clears all of our sidewalks and all of our parking lots, but we rent that out. Well, our staff can't be there 24/7 just at that other little building clearing those sidewalks. They said, why don't you put a little shovel and some salt down there so that someone, everyone's always willing to help. So we did. That person got $25 just for that simple suggestion. And people that were renting out the building, they use it. They just throw some salt, so they're making sure their people that are at their event aren't slipping and sliding away. And it was a win-win for everyone. So again, think outside the box. Or if you've seen something that you thought was ingenious, bring it to our attention. We'd love to implement something and make everyone safer. Always, if you have any questions or any concerns, again, my name is Nancy. For those that are new, I just put it out there. So then when I get Christmas cards from all of you, then it works out really well for me. But I'm just saying, come on now, let's have some fun. It's a park district. We're supposed to have fun here. We take it all very seriously, but you can do that with a little fun side too. Yeah. I think Lisa gets my humor a little bit. She's been around a little bit, so she gets it. But welcome. Thank you all. If we have any graduating seniors, whether that's high school or college, I myself, just on behalf of the Park District, we want to extend our congratulations to you. We're very proud of you. It's been a difficult, 14 months or going on 15 months now. So congratulations. You wrote it out. You did it. And be proud of yourself, because we're proud of you. And we're so happy that all of you are on board with us at the Park District. We're looking forward to this year. We missed the pool last year. Steph and I, all the full-timers were like, it just isn't the same. I open my windows and I can hear the little screaming and the little woo from the pool. It carries over here. I love it. We love walking down there on our lunch hours and just walking around and just seeing that liveliness and that energy. So thank you all. And, again, let us know what we can do to help you.
Yeah. Somebody had a question in the chat, which is a very good question. This person asked, how do we access the online learning classes required by May 17th? Sign up for a guard class. And if you are not signed up for a guard class, you are not in the online learning. I need everyone registered for a guard class in order to do that. So the class is only due for returning lifeguards and those who are taking the class on May 17th. For those of you who are taking the June 1st class, the online portion is due for the June 1st class. So like I said, that is your lifeguard class is a part of your time. That is a requirement of your position. I just happen to be teaching it. You can go to a different district and take it if you want, but if you are taking a later lifeguard class, that class online portion is due at the start of your class. What do we wear? Oh, we have so many questions. Okay.
Excellent.
What do we wear and bring to lifeguard training courses? Do we bring our own swimsuits? Yes, you bring your own swimsuit, athletic swimsuit. If you're having troubles getting a swimsuit, I have so many extra red swimsuits and we rebranded. So your suits are going to be blue this year.
Oh, okay.
Bring warm clothes, especially if you are taking the returning lifeguards, bring warm clothes because I'm freezing lately and we're getting in the pool in a couple days. So bring warm clothes, athletic clothing. I always wear leggings. People can wear sweatpants. You want to be able to move around. Towel, water bottle, bring a lunch if it's a longer training. When is the online class due for the admissions and concessions people? If you are working in concessions, then you are supposed to do your food handlers training. And that is something, again, you do on your own. And that is prior to your first shift. The sooner, the better. And if you already have your food handlers permit, which I think the person who asked this, I'm pretty sure you already have it since you've worked another job before. If you already have your food handlers permit, please email it to myself and then I can keep a copy of that at the pool for everyone. Any other questions? Okay, tomorrow we're going to go over all the boring manual stuff. Oh, where do we hand in our workers' permits? Hand it in person to myself or Nancy. If you have it, then you can take a picture of it and send it in an email to me and then hand in the hard copy to me or to Nancy. You can bring it to the rec center and say like, this is for Nancy, and then they'll put it in a little confidential envelope and put it in her mailbox to go in your employee file. Okay.
Good questions. Yeah.
I appreciate all of your guys' time. We're going to get to some expectations tomorrow. Do we have to do the online lifeguard class in one sitting? No, you don't. You can go back if you want to. Quite a few people have started it and gone back. So like I can see how much you've done. So I see, for example, like Haley came to me and said that she had trouble getting on. I can see now that she's accessed 25% of the course. So I see who's doing it and who's not doing it. So I'm going to keep sending you reminders to do it if you haven't done it. Can we still wear our red suits if we have blue ones now? If it is a cold day and your swimsuit is not showing, I'm not going to know, just saying. And you can always wear the red suits to swim lessons and trainings. So where do we access the course? If you are signed up for a lifeguard class, and link was emailed to you. Tomorrow the Zoom is at 5:30. That time shouldn't have changed at all. It's at 5:30. Do we need to send you our certificate after we finish the course? I get it automatically. So that's a good question. So like Nina, I've seen that you've done yours. Where do we get the swimsuits? I give them to you. Your uniform is provided for you from the park district. They actually came in today. So I'm going to be handing out, that's a part of our training on the 22nd. If you miss the 22nd, that's okay. We still have trainings before the pool opens where you'll get your uniform. So also, if you want to make sure that you get your size right away, come on the 22nd. If I don't have your size, I'll give you a red suit to wear for opening weekend and I'll order you a new one. But everybody gets their swimsuit on the 22nd and that's provided. Everybody gets, for all staff, everyone gets at least 2 shirts. So admissions, concessions, and pool attendants, you guys are in a light blue this year. It's real pretty. You're in a light blue color. Pool managers, admissions concessions managers, you're in a navy polo. Lifeguards, you're in like an ash gray, it's like practically white shirt. And for everyone too, we're going to do an online store where you can buy extra stuff. Everyone gets 2 shirts, and then lifeguards are going to get 2 shirts plus a long sleeve shirt. Should we go to the training even if it's before our certification class? No. You should go to EAP training, and they're on that training sheet. It says new lifeguards and all staff. Those are your trainings if you're a new lifeguard that hasn't completed their lifeguard certification course. For new coming lifeguards, do we just go to the class we signed up for? Yes. Yeah, just go to the class that you registered for. Like I said, I've told all of you in your interviews, this is something that is separate from your position. So trainings like these, you get paid for. Trainings like that, that's a requirement of your position. You just happen to be taking it at your workplace. It's not a paid training. So if you are signed up for the June class, you are not coming in next week and getting in the water. You'll have your suit and your uniform before you even go to a lifeguard class. All right. The questions have slowed down. Thank you all so much. Feel free to ask more questions tomorrow. We're going to go over all those fun employee expectations where I'm going to get all serious and tell you exactly how mean I am if you come into work late or don't call in. And I'll tell you how to call in when you're sick and what to do when you are looking for somebody to give you a little bit more guidance. And setting expectations is my favorite part of the job. So I'm excited for it. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, Nancy, for leading us in this. Oh, Nancy says 1 second.
Just real quick, anyone that may have come in a little late, I know we had a few, make sure you're signing in and putting your position down so we can make sure we track all that, okay?
Yeah. I'm going to hang out on the call for 5 minutes if anybody has any direct questions where you want to ask me something.
Anyone else's head spinning? Yikes, there's a lot of information. All righty, y'all. Take care. Thank you so much.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I worked at Culver's, so I would think I would have a food training thing, but I never took a class online. They had me sit down they had me do some classes online that was specifically made for Culver's.
Okay. So
but I never got like a certificate or anything.
So you'll have to do a food handlers.
Okay.
You'll have to do a food handlers training on your own then. So in your first offer, I sent you a link to one that's approved, but you can literally Google food handlers permit and that will bring you any training that you want.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashton. I'm glad people are staying on for questions. Okay, who's next? Hi, Abby.
Hi, I don't know if I had to be here because none of the other coaches were here.
Nope, Melissa and Laura both couldn't make it, and I don't know where Erin is.
Erin's been to it a million times though, but do I need to sign up? I know Laura said that I should go to a lifeguard training. Do I have to sign up for one with the reoccurring guards, or is there going to be one with the coaches?
We're going to have separate instructions for you. I'm going to add you to the lifeguard portal, and you're going to do the online stuff, and then we're going to have you guys just test out before swim team starts. But
Perfect. Okay.
It's probably going to be like right before swim team starts, where Sophia or I are going to run you guys through your skills.
Makes sense. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. Good to see you. Okay, who's next? Alyssa?
Okay, so I know that I signed up to go with the returning guards, but I just want to confirm I don't have to complete that test because I'm technically a new guard. So I know you said that there was a online course for them to complete.
You do have to complete the online course.
Okay. Okay.
You're the only, like one of the only ones that is doing it with the returning staff just because of your schedule. So I know that we did put you in here, so I'm gonna double check. Did you get like an email from StarGuard? Oh, it says not started yet. So I'm gonna email you a course update right now. It just sent. So it's gonna come through the StarGuard lifeguard portal. If you're having troubles, I know you're gonna do it in like 4 days.
Yeah.
If you're having troubles, just let me know and I'll be flexible with you. The course itself, like most people have been finishing up within a day. So
Okay. Yeah.
not scary by any means. And
Okay.
you're going to want that information before you come in, because then you'll have a little bit of knowledge before you come in for CPR training with a bunch of people who have been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Alyssa.
No problem. Bye.
Okay, I'm just going in order of who's on my screen. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Stephanie. I'm working tomorrow at the fitness center from 3 to 7:30. What should I do?
I will talk to Matt, but I think that you can probably just have the Zoom open while you're at the desk. I'm going to speak
Okay.
for him when I say
That's what I
that.
was thinking.
I don't think that 5:30 p.m. is a hot time on a Friday night.
It'll be fine.
So
Yeah.
we'll be fine with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
How
This
are
is
you?
just a very random question. So
Uh-huh.
I know when we had our Zoom meeting, doing the like inclusion swim thing with
Uh-huh.
the special education students. So I didn't know if that was still a thing or if that's going to be later.
Oh, it is. I already have aid requests. So swim lesson training is going to be a little bit later on. So we're going to talk about swim lesson training signups tomorrow at our other meeting. But if you're still interested in it, I think it'll be really great. I actually have somebody that I have in mind to pair you with. It's our head swim team coaches. Sorry, my dogs probably saw a squirrel. It's our head coach's daughter, and she is 7 now, and she's great. So, and she signed up for all these swim lessons.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to check in about that.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Melissa.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, I just actually wanted to apologize. I'm at college with my roommates and there was like a curse word said, so I just wanted like to say that was from my screen, but I don't want it to seem like I was saying that to anyone, so I just wanted to say that because I'm not like that. So I just wanted to let you guys I just know because I was trying to plug in my computer and I was like, oh my gosh, like guys, like don't do that. But I just want to like make sure that you guys know that I don't speak like that and stuff like that.
Thank you so much, Grace. I didn't know whose screen it came from. So
I just felt guilty not saying anything too, because that's just something I wanted to clear up. But
we're already showing you have great character. So thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Good luck for finals.
Thank you.
Hi, Kevin. Sorry you were last.
That's okay. I just wanted to confirm that I signed in okay, because I just put it in the chat my name, my position.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I have to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Sorry, that was a simple question I made you wait for.
It's all right.
To hear all the other stuff, so that's cool too. So
Yeah.
It's all right. No
I
worries.
heard such great things about you. That's why I wanted to make sure I offered you a pool attendant position.
Thank you.
I told you in your interview that I was buying a house from somebody who was in the PR territory.
Mhm.
And their kids play basketball. So I was like, do you know the Fist family? It's the Bars, if you know.
Oh yes, I do know them. Yeah, my brother
Yeah.
played basketball with him, their son. Yeah.
Yeah. So she had like such nice things to say. She's like, that dad, they have such a nice family and you should definitely hire him. So
Well, I'm glad that helped.
happy to have you.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you for
my
that.
son graduated from PR as well, so we are familiar with the
Yeah.
PR. That's it, exactly. He's been out about 10 years now, but yep, we like PR.
All right, sounds
Take
good.
care.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kevin.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I'm copying and pasting the chat before we leave. Oh, I recorded all of the questions.
Oh, good. That's great.
So no, I mean like all the people who just stayed on, I'm still recording. Hold on.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.